All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Pipeline Pioneers, a Sales Intel show where our goal is to help the community learn from the experts, from leaders and practitioners as to how to generate the most optimal pipeline for their business. As we know, pipeline is the heartblood of any organization, and we at Sales Intel believe that generating pipeline is a team sport. You can't just give it to BDRs or marketing or AEs and make it their responsibility. It truly takes a village to come together and build the pipeline that ultimately converts into revenue. Today, I'm excited to have Brendan from Chili Piper. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to chat about this stuff. It's pipeline is it's important. We'll just say
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. So to kick things off, Brendan, why don't you tell our guests and our listeners about your role at Chili Piper and how in your role do you help influence the pipeline?
Yeah, so I am the VP of marketing here, so I am responsible for the pipeline as every marketing leader should be. And yeah, the way that I really look at this is it's kind of broken out into like brand and demand, right? There's because I do believe strong brands can lead to demand. Right. I've been at companies before, they have no brand, they're really early on, and you're not in conversations. Whereas Chili Piper, it's a pretty prominent brand. A lot of people know about them. And a lot of people, when they're evaluating solutions like Chili Piper is automatically in that conversation already, right? So I think having a strong brand leads to demand. So there's the brand side, but then yeah, there's again the demand side itself. And how I think about that is that those are the campaigns that you're running. Those are the actual things that you're doing to take that brand interest and create it into the demand. And then there's the actual like point of conversion. And something I've been thinking about a lot about, because this is one thing that we do really well at Chili Pepper, but it is, I call it demand conversion. It's
Yeah.
those specific points of conversion. So, I mean, a lot of people probably know Chili Piper as it's like we help a lot of people with speed to lead, right? You're booking a meeting instead of going back and forth with the rep, you get booked right on the right rep's calendar, and it helps convert that interest into demand. So again, that's why I like to call that demand conversion.
Yep, that's great. I love it. So Brendan, last year was tough for lots of companies.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't, especially in the B2B SaaS space, companies didn't hit their revenue targets. Pipelines were not there. Couple that with the macroeconomic headwinds we all faced, it was just a perfect storm for companies to not hit their numbers. And we learned, lots of things from last year as what not to do. What is the learning that you got from last year, Mrs.?
Yeah, okay. So a little bit of background. I was at a previous company last year. So I joined Chili Piper this year. And I was actually in the talent acquisition space. So talk about being tough. A
Yeah.
lot of companies were not hiring. They either had to freeze their hiring or they actually had to go through a lot of rifts and a lot of layoffs. And the real big learning was it's I think it's two different things. Actually, no, it kind of ties into the same thing. And it really is understanding the market and knowing what value actually is to your customers. So again, we're talking to talent acquisition leaders, HR leaders, and um, they're not going to be buying talent acquisition software anymore. But a big part of our offering was the data you actually get. Are the people that you're hiring the right people? Do they stick around? Do they perform? And then a big part of that is, yeah, the performance side of things. So um, a lot of them were not focused on hiring. They had to do layoffs. So we're actually going to provide you data on who you actually should be laying off. Because a lot of times it's like, hey, marketing, you got to cut half your headcount. And then it's just like, and then it's more of a political thing instead of, all right, let's look at the data based off of rehirability, based off performance, based off of culture add, based off of potential that they have within their role, and then weigh that against things like how much you're actually paying them. And then you can make more informed decisions on who you should be laying off or who should be part of that riff. So it's always going back to the buyers, the customers, and saying, all right, what do you care about right now? How do you get value from our product? And how do we like we should always be question our hypotheses on the value that we're delivering. And I think that's a big mistake that people make is they hit product market fit and they think the value is this one thing, and then they go to market with one message and they never change that message, right?
So the idea is constantly be evolving and keeping your eye on providing the right value to the customers. That's great.
Yeah,
So
always be talking to your customers.
it's always be talking to your
Like
customers.
know
That's
what
very
value
real.
is. Yeah, know what value means to your customers at every time, like at any minute.
Right, right. Because you may think that you're providing certain value, but your customers may think differently.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. Awesome. Well, new company for you, new year, new initiatives, right? What are you most excited about for 2024?
Um, I am excited that it does seem like the market is rebounding a little bit, as well, more specifically the software market, right? The tech sector. So hopefully we'll be seeing some more tailwinds instead of headwinds. And specifically here at Chili Piper, I'm doing exactly that with the company. It's all right, let's listen to our customers, let's go out and talk to them, and then we are really trying to place a strategic bet on where we see the market going. Because I really do think the best marketers and the best demand gen leaders out there, what they really are able to do is listen to the market, react to the market, and predict where it's going. So a lot of what I'm doing now is doing more value selling and painting a broader picture, a bigger story. Here is what we believe at Chili Piper. And if you believe this, it should be a natural sale, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is great. So more of a thesis and the belief system that you are going to your customers with.
Yeah, like that, I think some people call it a strategic narrative
Yeah.
or the category POV, or there's so many different names for it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the really underlying idea is what are our core beliefs,
Yeah.
and where are we placing our bets for the future?
Got it.
And
It's
then
a
how would we
perfect
tell
transition
that?
to placing the bets, the perfect transition to placing your bets across multiple channels to build the pipeline.
Oh,
When
nice. Okay.
pipeline comes from many channels, right? And
Yep.
we, as go-to-market leaders, have to figure out how to place the right bets, like where to invest our resources. So in this exercise, you have 100 pennies on the left-hand side, and you have all these channels through which the growth comes in, right? Through which you generate the pipeline. Your goal
Oh
is to
gosh.
your goal is to invest these 100 pennies across these channels in a way that builds the most optimal pipeline for your business this year. How would you invest?
Okay, great question. I think like oh man, this is all tough. I think it's good. It's cheating to say distribute it evenly across the board. But I think okay, I'll definitely start off with marketing, um, partnerships.
Yep. So I'm gonna put one coin here, and then we can come and double down, right?
Okay, that sounds great. Customer,
Yep.
brand,
Yep.
and then founder. Gosh, this is yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is specifically for us at
Yep.
Chili Pepper, because obviously different sales motions, different complexities of sales, different industries will obviously be different for this too, right?
Mhm.
Oh man. So I'm gonna put one more in marketing, one more in brand, one more in partnerships.
Yep.
All right, I got two left here. Ooh, this is tough. Okay, give me one for sales.
And for sales. Yeah.
So that for me, that's more well, that's your outbound motion, right? Whether
Yep.
that's
That's
your
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 BDR
BDRs going out or your AEs
generating
generating
pipeline.
their own, but that would be amazing, right? If AEs really were just so great at generating their own pipeline. Although I will say the best AEs I've ever worked with, that is one thing that they are constantly good at, is generating their own pipeline and not relying on their BDRs or their marketing team to do that.
That's right. They control
Um,
their own destiny, right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, the last one I'll put in events.
Events.
Oh
Okay.
gosh, this community too. No, I'll go events. I'll go events.
Go events. Okay. Perfect. So, this is a great, very diversified investment where you put two coins in each marketing, partnership, and brand, and one in sales, customers, founder, and event. I would love your thoughts on partnership. I'm hearing that a lot this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've done partnerships before at a few different companies. My last company, I'll tell you the big difference between here at Chili Piper and my last company. My last company, we were a smaller, a company, a relatively younger company too, and there were some 800-pound gorillas in the market, and a lot of the best, um, a lot of the biggest companies out there. They didn't really bat an eye when we came and said, "Hey, let's do a partnership. Hey, we're going to do a rev share. We're going to give you a very generous portion of a rev share." Like they didn't even care. They're like, "Yeah, you're a 80-person, 70-person company. I'm partnering with, again, some of the biggest names in the industry." It was so hard to even get them to pay attention to us. And then some of the big ones that did pay attention to us, they're like, "Well, you know what? I'll talk to you when you hit this million in pipeline generated with a partner attached, with us as a partner attached. And then you have to do all these activities, and you also have to drive a certain amount of traffic to our partner page, with you guys on our website. And then, you know what? Once you hit those milestones, you're basically a big enough fish for us to even pay attention to, right?"
Yeah.
But on the other hand, here at Chili Piper, we have a pretty good size partnership team. So we have more integrations and ISVs, but then we also have a separate partner team that does your agency partnerships.
Yeah.
And the opposite happens here, whereas we're a pretty well-known brand because we have invested historically a lot in our brand. So a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, Chili Pepper, I want to do business with them. I want to associate with them." So we have more demand than we can act, or more partner opportunities than we can actually handle. So for us, it's okay, what are the partners that we know when we partner with them, we have bigger deal sizes, we have a lot of partner overlap, and then how can we really facilitate that? I like Jared Fuller's, nearbound model where he's talking
Yes.
about Intel intros and influence,
Yeah.
right? How do we really facilitate that through the partner activities and the partnerships that we have with our agencies? And then we really have to prioritize those, stack rank those, and then I think you nail some of the biggest ones that are your P1s.
This is great. This is very, very helpful. So, Brendan, let's take a look at this slide. Um, it shows you the industry benchmark of how other go-to-market leaders have invested their pennies. I'm going to overlay your responses on top of this, right?
Oh wow, okay.
To compare how the blue bars are showing how the other GTM leaders have made their investments across the channels, and orange is yours. When you look at this slide, is there something that surprises you?
Yeah, I'm surprised that so many people put sales led rather than, yeah, again, sales to me is like it's outbound sales,
Osman Jason.
and right. And
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many marketing leaders that I talk with, and even sales leaders. I was just on a call with Brendan Cassidy. He was the employee like 15 at LinkedIn, and led the sales team there, and is employee 10 at EcoSign with Jason Lemkin, and then Josh Braun, right? Josh Braun, the big sales guy, and we were talking about the outbound motion, how it's completely broken right now and how it doesn't work,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I think
So
people
I'm,
are coming more towards a partnership, community and led,
yeah,
community
yeah,
led, and the brand led. So I'm seeing the transition this year, but some of the companies are still, still very much rooted into the BDR led outbound
yeah,
motion.
yeah, more of like yeah, you're right. Maybe that's the traditional, they're still on the Aaron Ross, predictable revenue
That's
playbook.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brendan, for joining us and sharing your insights with the community. I'm sure the community is going to find some nuggets that they can go and implement in their businesses. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.